All right, so I recently got the Elgato Stream Deck Mark II for my home use for a hobby, but I also got one for work. For those who don't know me, my name is Tavian, and I do some hobbyist streaming at home, but for work, I work at an esports arena where a big chunk of my job is production. Normally, we use something called the X keys, which is just buttons and hotkeys, but the Mark II was on sale. The Elgato Stream Deck stuff was on sale in general for Black Friday. So I wound up picking one up at home and also getting one for work. And what I want to do is just talk about what this thing can do or what my thoughts are of it. Basically going over the hardware, the software, and just my overall initial thoughts on it and how I'm currently using it. I've had it for about a week now, so I'm still fairly new to using it, but I have some experience in production, so I think I have a good idea of how this is going to work. So let's just jump right into it, okay? So what I want to do is I'm going to cut over and I'm going to show you what this looks like. All right, so I have the one that has 15 buttons on it. The one that I have for work has like 32 buttons on it or something like that. But this is what you get out of the box. Now, it does have this right here and a removable faceplate from what I understand. This is the Mark II, so it has a customizable faceplate. I don't really care about that personally, but you may. But it's just a USB-C to USB, comes with it, sits in this dock pretty nicely, and also has some grippy on the bottom. So it's not going to go anywhere. When you press these buttons, they're not going to go anywhere. I don't want to press one right now, but it's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything. I like the way it's set up. It feels fine. It doesn't feel super cheap or anything. It is plastic, but you also have these LED backlit buttons that are programmable, and I'll get into that a little bit more in just a second. So what I want to do is get into the software portion of things. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over, and I'll show you this, and I'll give you more in a second, but I'm going to go ahead and turn that off right now and show you the software that comes with it. Now, this software is free. All the plugins are free that I've seen so far, and it's amazing. So first off, it comes with a variety of options right here. Just out of the gate, you have Elgato stuff. So if you have other Elgato things like a capture card or lights and a camera, there's controls built into it that has like its own command center. There's different sound options. There's a lot just stock that comes with it, but the power of this thing comes from the plugins. So you would press this button right here, and it's going to pull up another menu. And it's going to look like this. And you want to go to plugins. Now, again, I use two pieces of software. At home, I use Prism Studio, which is not an orthodox or normal streaming software. I love it personally, but it's not super popular. But if you go over to video, this is going to have all the different streaming softwares. Now, I use vMix, which is great because I was not sure that vMix was going to be on here, but luckily it is. It has XSplit. It has all the basic streaming softwares that you would think that are on here. And there's Prism Studio right there. So it's supported, which is really amazing for me. The other fun part is there's sound effects and music, which I don't touch those right now, and I'll tell you why in a second. But there's also a lot of customization. Now, I love customization, and if you know me, then you also know that I love retro wave aesthetic. And there are two different options. There's a neon grids, and there's another one that's somewhere around here. But there's a lot of different options, and you can categorize it by games. You also can use software like Photoshop, and this thing does so much stuff. It's so amazing that I can't like stress it enough. I'm kind of spoiling the review part of this, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and talk about some of the customization and the depth of this. So like I said before, I'm going to show you my setup just so you understand how I'm doing things. I kind of kill two birds with one stone here and help you understand a lot of how this works. So first off, this is my main screen for right now. Things are probably going to change as I get better with it, but what I want to do is show you exactly how I have it set up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut on my camera too. For my phone. I'm using my phone as the second camera, which is pretty cool, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and you can see that this is the same exact screen. So on the top, I have my starting soon, be right back, and live, and then I also have what is called the split. So it'll turn into, let me see if I can show this to you. It's going to get a little trippy, but I want to show you this just so you understand how this works. So when I press this button right here, it gives me the preview and the output. Now I know what I'm doing at home, so I don't need both. But it's nice to have that option on the fly in case I do want to make some changes, like the overlay is messed up and I don't want to show you every single adjustment that I make. I can make those adjustments in the split mode and then set it back to just output only once I have everything set up. Now, the next things I have are my camera screen, which is this one right here, just my camera, just me talking. I have my gaming scene, which is currently set up to my camera. And then I have this one right here, which is going to be my screen share. Plus, I can turn off and on the camera as well. Down below that, I have my mute, so it's going to mute me in Discord. I can mute my gameplay, and I can also mute the overall I can mute music, I can mute whatever I want to, basically. And then I also have record, and I have a go live button right over here. Now, what's amazing about this software is even though you only have 15 buttons, if you look in the top right corner, right over there, there's a button that you can set called folders. So there's an infinite number of buttons and customization you can do because you can make folders. So I have one folder, but then I have folders within that folder. So I have a folder for socials, which right now I only have tweet, and it'll pull up alerts and chat. So anything social related, I have it in this folder. The next folder I have is programs. So I want to boot up Prism. I want to boot up my editing software, my recording software, Discord. If I want to adjust the volumes of those softwares, I also have that in here for right now. I might make a separate folder just for audio. But my next one is my Twitch folder, which is pretty barren right now, but it has predictions. It has start a prediction, it has close a prediction, and then it has finished a prediction or something like that. I'm gonna mess with that a little bit more, but you kind of get the idea. Then we get to the soundboard, which I'll circle back to that in a second. I'll show you the soundboard, which is really cool. It comes with a program called Voice Mod, which is also free, but there's a paid version as well. But the free one kind of gives you an idea of if you like it or not. But here's the kicker right here. The Discord one. This is the one that I feel like I'm over excited about it personally, but it's just so convenient. So I'm going to show you some of these buttons here. Now, first off, I have my deafen and my mute. I'm not in Discord, but I'm just muted right now, but I can unmute and mute really easily. This button, once I set it properly, it'll pull up Discord, but I already have that in the other side. Excuse my stumbling all over my words. I'm so excited right now. But once I map that, it'll also pull it up. Even if the program is loaded, usually it'll bring it up. But what's really, really cool is we start getting into here. I can set certain folders. Now, this is more important for work-related reasons, less than this, but there's times where maybe I want to do commentary. So I can actually join my commentary booth in my fighting game community Discord and then leave just by pressing that button. I don't have to have Discord on either of my windows. I got two monitors. I don't have to have it on either of them. Same thing with my general chat. If I want to play some games with buddies, I have two general chats. I have another one that my buddy and I would play like the Hunt Showdown. So I like to join that one really quickly. And then I also have a work related one, which is more important because when I'm at work, when I'm at Western, we use Discord to communicate with the casters, the observers, the production, and a lot of the coaches that might be in that game. And I want to be able to access my live chat really fast. So you can actually not just join voice calls, but you can switch between different chats. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but maybe it's because I'm older, but I get overwhelmed when there's too many windows, too many options to choose for different channels and stuff. So I'd like to just go right to the channel that I want to, and you can do that really easy just by setting these hotkeys. So you can see the power of this. I love it. If you love Discord, if you use Discord a lot, this thing just makes it so easy, especially if you stream while using Discord. It's just nice to have these buttons. Plus, again, I want to make sure you guys understand this. When I'm in the call, it tells me I'm in there. So I have a visual representation either on the software or on the app to let me know, yeah, you're in that call. So don't say something you shouldn't be saying, or just, be aware that you're in that call. And when you hang up, it's gone. So you have that instant feedback. Now let's switch over to the sounds, right? So this is an app called Voice Mod. I'll see if I can bring that up for you real fast. I just got this working. It allows you not only to change your voice, but also it'll play music and stuff like that. So it's really, really amazing. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my camera now, though. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm going to go back, turn off my camera. And so let's go ahead and take a look at some of this real quick. So I'm going to Alt Tab back over to my window and show you where I'm at. So I'm going to go to my sounds. And first off, you can play music. I'm going to put my headphones on too. So I can play music if I want to. And that's really cool. And one other thing I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to turn myself off. So when you're using this software, you can hear yourself talking, but I have a mic that lets me hear myself. I have an audio interface, so I don't need that feedback. So there's a little bit of a delay, and I prefer the instant. So it just lets you know what you sound like, but I would recommend having it off, especially if you already have like an audio interface or something like that. But you can see, now you can see the music that's playing in the background. And that's really, really cool because you can just press that button and turn that off, turn it on. I have a couple of lo-fi songs because I do like lo-fi. It's pretty chill. This is the lo-fi spacey. I have like an EDM one. Right. So you can set some pretty simple music. So you can do like an intro and outro or something like that. You also have sound effects like this one, turn on the camera, whatever. It doesn't actually do anything. I'm not taking any pictures. It just makes a sound effect. You also have more ambient noises. This one. where you can kind of, if you're doing a Halloween stream or maybe you're playing a spooky game and you just want to get into the vibes, maybe you're kind of a role-playing streamer, you know, you have these background noises that kind of help enhance the ambiance, so to speak. You know, I have another one right here if you want to tell some jokes and maybe it just didn't hit. Right, and then you get into the fun stuff where I won't be able to hear myself, okay? So just keep that in mind. But
I can press a button and now I sound like this. You know, it's really cool to be able to just do that. There's another one that I want to play with a lot, but that's this one right here where
it'll auto-tune your voice or something like that. So right now I'm talking naturally. I don't know what I sound like, but it should be making me sound kind of musical. I hope that's the case because I'm gonna have to go back and edit this and listen to it. But yeah, that's really cool that I'm able to do that. There's different options. Now, when you're using the free version, they will rotate, kind of like, you know, a certain kinds of free games, it'll rotate, but there's a paid version. I don't think it's super pricey. I'm still messing with it, so I don't know if I'm gonna keep it or not. But that option is there. And then I started using this one, which is just my natural voice, but I think it cleans it up a little bit, adds a little bit more bass. Really cool. There's a lot of options and there's so much more that I haven't even gotten to yet. There's so much that this thing can do. Again, they have OBS, they have Streamlabs OBS, they have a bunch of different options on there. And I gotta say that for the longest time, I didn't give this tool enough credit, right? I didn't really think it was that important. So I didn't really put a lot of stock in it. I'm like, oh, it's just an overpriced piece of hardware. It's plastic. It's not worth it. But when you combine this with the software, and it's actually gotten better over the years from what I've seen from some older reviews and some newer reviews of how it works. The software works with, first off, the Mark II or the Mark I. I want to say if you're frugal like me, I would recommend, unless it's on sale, getting the Mark I, unless you're really picky about aesthetic and you want to customize a faceplate. The Mark I is just fine. It's cheaper. I think it's like maybe 50 bucks cheaper or 30 bucks cheaper, something like that. So, you know, don't go crazy with this one if you're just getting started out. You know, just get the cheaper version. That's what I was going to do originally, and then it went on sale. Like the day that I was going to buy it, I went to go look at it, and it was on sale, so I got the Mark II. That's the only reason I got it. So I would have been cheap and gotten the older one. But I will say overall, my initial impressions of this is that it's a really great tool. If you're streaming a lot or doing a lot of production, whether it's professional or as a hobby, and you have a little extra money and you want to make it a little bit easier, enhance your stream, I think this is a great tool. And I'm not sponsored, okay? So I have to say that right off the bat. I'm not sponsored by Elgato or the Stream Deck or anything like that. I'm just being very objective about it. I've used a couple of different tools. I've been using my keyboard for the longest time. I have extra buttons on my keyboard that are specific for macros. And I naturally still want to go to use those buttons, but I'm forcing myself to use this. And I'm also using it at work and training people at work on how to use it with vMix. So I'm really trying to learn the depth of this. And there's a lot of depth to this tool, to how you use it. And the fact that it says what it does right on there, it makes it so much more convenient. Now, for me, a lot of my job is training and production. You know, there's students, right? I'm at a college, so there's young students that are learning how to do production, and I've been using a button, a keypad that just had like stickers on there that I could put in there, or like kind of a paper slips that I can put underneath the button, and that's cool and all, but like I can't put words on there. It's like A, B, C. There's like a little speaker. I can hand draw a couple of ones, but this, if I make any alterations, I don't have to make like a full diagram. I've been using Canva to make a diagram. Don't need any of that. You can put the words on there that you want. I'll show you that real quick right now. So if I go to make a button, I can type in whatever I want right here, and I can change the size of the text. I can change the color of the text, all that kind of good stuff right here. So I don't need to necessarily, you know, and I can also press enter, change the size of it. I can change the font of it if I want to. So I like to use either Arial Black or like Impact, or if it have Bibis New, I would use that one, but I'm just using the default text for right now. But you can see there's so much customization, so that if you have a bad memory, you can customize it with icons and all kinds of stuff. And I'll show you that too. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the chatting one, and you press that little plus button right there, and you go over here, it'll take you to this library. And I mentioned before that you go to the plugins, the store, basically. It's called a store, but they're all free. So you go to the icons, that's how you get your different icons. This is how you actually use your icons. And again, I love the neon icon pack, and I love this one right here, but I also have like the matrix one that they're animated. So you see the words going down, but there's a lot of customization of use, and it lets you, you know, personalize how you want to do this. There's different icons. They have like social media ones and stuff like that. I'll go back and get that one right now just to show you again how easy it is to install these. I'm gonna go to icons, and let's just type in social and see what pops up. And then I'm gonna check this one out and see what they have. So these are purple. I don't want this one. So I found one right here that looks kind of cool and is still in line with what I do. So this is like the anaglyph right here, and I see Twitter on there. There's a couple of them. If I type in Twitter right now, I bet you I would be able to find it in just the ones that I already have. So I'll do that real fast. And boom, I have 4 different options for Twitter if I wanted to, right? You know, and then Twitch, let's see if Twitch pops up. You know, you see you have different icons, a bunch of different ones. So not just the Twitch icon, but you also have other ones. So there's a lot of customization. I can't stress that enough. It is really, really cool. I'm really excited to learn this software and practice it, especially since I've been streaming Cyberpunk about once a week. And I also have some personal projects for my son that I'm working on because he loves dinosaur games. So I want to make a few Let's Plays that are just for him, not really to put on the public. But either way, this has been a great tool. If this has been useful for you, please press the like button. I don't do a lot of hardcore YouTubing. This is actually a request from somebody that's a friend of mine named Keenan. I wanted to make this for him so that he, had an idea of how this works and what my thoughts on it were. I think this is a great tool. So that said, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you all in the next one.